Welcome to Your Money Guides, brought to you by Interface Financial Planning.
The importance of lasting powers of attorney. In the last piece Alan wrote, he stressed the importance of you writing a will. If you haven't seen it, have a look at his website under blogs and have a read. Today, he wants to talk about an even more important document, your lasting powers of attorney. You see, Alan thinks that your LPA, that's the shortened version of its name, is more important than your will, because your will only applies when you're no longer here. If you do not have a will, it makes it more difficult for those that you leave behind, but your LPA affects you personally while you're still alive. Let's start with a quick history lesson. Until the Enduring Powers of Attorney Act of 1985, you could appoint an attorney to look after some or all of your financial affairs, but that power of attorney stopped being valid once you lost your mental capacity. So for a relative, spouse, or indeed good friend to organise your private affairs, they would need to apply to the Court of Protection to be able to look after your affairs on your behalf. This was a long and expensive legal process, which many couldn't afford. Even worse, the process took up to a year, by which time you, known as the donor, which is the term used for you in your LPA, equivalent to you being a testator in your will, may have worsened in mental capacity or possibly passed on. So what's the difference between a lasting power of attorney and an enduring power of attorney? The secret is in the title. It endures beyond the point that the donor loses capacity. The Mental Capacity Act of 2005 introduced the lasting power of attorney, and while the EPA only gave the attorney power to help with financial affairs, two LPAs were introduced, one for property and finance, the other for health and welfare. LPAs first started on the 1st of October 2007, and from that date there were no more EPAs, though existing ones remain valid. Alan apologises to those living in Scotland and Northern Ireland, where the paperwork is a little different, but the principles remain the same for each jurisdiction. It's a sad fact that 25% of us, that's 1 in 4, will lose some mental capacity at some point in our lives. Many of you, like Alan, will have had personal experience of family or friends whose mental health deteriorates with age. It's distressing for everyone. This can be made so much easier if you completed and registered your LPAs, which have appointed attorneys who can work on your behalf. At Interface, the team has over 13 years' experience of preparing LPAs for clients, and another 15 years of preparing EPAs prior to that. While it is always a sad time, it gives the team a great deal of professional satisfaction when they're asked to provide certified registered copies of LPAs to financial bodies and care organisations. It is also very sad and distressing when the team receives inquiries from people who've left it too late. In Alan's last blog, he mentioned that as many as 67% of people, that's 2 out of 3, do not have an up-to-date valid will. But for LPAs, the figure is even more shocking. Alan estimates that 9 out of 10 people haven't prepared LPAs, although he's glad to say that for his clients the figure is the other way round, and he's working on the remaining 10%. As in the case of wills, he doesn't believe that this is because they don't care, apart from a small minority that probably don't. We are all daunted by the contemplation of our own mortality and potential decrease in our mental capacity, and it's hard to deal with. However, Alan can guarantee that it is far easier to deal with when you are fit and young than when you are starting to feel the effects of the loss of mental capacity. If you're starting to lose mental capacity, then it may already be too late. In the last blog about wills, he stressed the importance of storing wills securely where they can be located at the time of need. You're preparing your will in order to make it easier for those that you leave behind, and you don't want to add to their stress by them having to search for weeks to find it. The same applies to your lasting powers of attorney. They must be stored in a secure place where your attorneys know where to find them. Alan's team have an arrangement with Countrywide Tax and Trusts, who not only provide secure storage, they check that all documents are complete and correct and also scan them. Then they store digital copies before adding them to their extensive secure document storage. As one of the biggest specialist estate planning companies in the UK, you can be confident that your documents will be available when they're needed. Unlike wills, which are only registered with the UK Probate Registry after death, your LPAs must be registered with the Office of the Public Guardian, otherwise known as the OPG, before they can be used. Alan's team always recommend that clients register their LPAs as soon as they're completed. There is a registration fee of £82 for each LPA, which for a couple with 2 LPAs each amounts to £328. However, Alan believes that this is a cost well worth paying. The OPG often takes 3 months or more to complete registration, and your attorney could be waiting in limbo, frustrated that they can do nothing. Think of this. You've prepared your LPAs but not registered them. Then, at the time of need, your attorney has to retrieve your LPAs from storage, find out the process for registering them at the OPG, complete the application forms and send the fee. Then, they have to sit back, unable to do anything for 3 months until they're registered. Do you think that they will think kindly upon you for giving them the demanding job of attorney and then making their life difficult by not registering? It's frustrating. However, Alan has something up his sleeve. Because of the known delay in registration, Alan's team always complete an ordinary power of attorney at the same time so that something is in place immediately. If only to stress this point, last week Alan's team received a registered LPA from the OPG for a client who died a couple of weeks previously. The OPG had taken almost 6 months to register the LPA, with his attorneys having to endure the stress and frustration. So, make this another New Year's resolution and get your LPA in order. Thank you.
For more information, visit our website at interfacefinancialplanning.co.uk.